For those of you that are already subscribed to Template Hub, you may have already seen the playlist of videos that I put on YouTube. Now, when I recorded them videos, they are now a little bit out of date because there's been a lot of new features added to Template Hub. So I'm creating a new playlist. This is video number 1, and it is how to create a template from scratch using Template Hub and the basic standard package. Okay, so you don't need premium for this. We're not going to use any premium features. So when you load Template Hub, the first thing you see is obviously the menu at the top. Yours will show your subscription rather than the admin panel. It'll show you when your subscription expires. And on the left hand side, you've got your different template sizes. So you've got the more popular ones, the 1800, 1200, 1200, 1800, etc. strips you got there. Screens is a new feature that I added in. I'll go into that in another video. And custom size, if you're going to do 360s, that's where you would set your size there. You just literally put your sizes in and then click apply. So for example, 1080 times 1920. For the purpose of this video, we are just going to do a 1800, 1200 landscape with portrait photos. So this is going to be for a selfie mirror, for example, but it can be used for other things. So again, we're not using premium. So the first thing we're going to do is add our background. Okay, so you have two choices. You can add your own by clicking choose file and uploading. So if you've got a background image from somewhere, you want to add it. So it could be customer branding, anything like that. That's how you would do that. Or you can select from the library. Now, when you click select from library, it will default to all categories. Now, the square ones will work. Okay, what it does stretch it a little bit, but they work fine. Okay, but I've added, and I am adding more landscape and portrait ones. So if you go to landscape, you will see you get the full, it will fill the full area. Okay, so we'll just scroll down, just show you a few that are in there. So this is quite a good selection for you to choose from in there already. All right, so let's go with, we'll go with this one. So that is our background placed. The next thing we need to do is add photo areas. So you click add photo area. That will now show you the size. This is a new feature. So when you click add photo area, it will load in at 500, 750. Okay. If you want that to be landscape, you just reverse them. So you change them around. So you say 750, 500, and that would make that landscape. You can resize. You can drag like you did before. Now just scroll up a little bit. So here we've got the grid switched on. So currently it is snapping to grid. So you can see the squares behind. It is snapping, and that will help you when you want to get them all at the same height. If you're not bothered about them being the same height, you can place it wherever you want, but you'll find it easy with snap to grid switched off. Show grid, that is just there to help you. Okay, if you turn it off, you can get a better view of what the template is going to look like. But whether it's on or off, when you export, it is not going to show these squares. Now, anywhere inside the photo areas, wherever you place it on the background will be transparent, so you can safely export and load it straight into your Photo Boost software. No messing with layers like you have to do in the likes of Canva. Okay, so I am now going to duplicate that photo area twice. So there we go. So we've got 3 now. Now the size that they default load will give you a good size to fit 3 on there, and we've got good spacing. We've got a single square at the side, a single square at that side, and 2 in between the middle and the side photo areas. So that is a good mix. With one of them highlighted, no matter which one, you can then add your stroke around it. Now what I'm seeing is quite a few that are making the templates and not using this feature. I think you'll find that your photos will look, your templates will look better if you put a frame around it. So what show stroke is a frame. All right. You can then change the color of that. So remember, we're just working on the one at the minute. Now I'm going to choose a color that's within the template, within the background, just so it kind of matches a little bit. And then I'm happy with that. And the other nice thing about Template Hub, which I don't think you can do on Canva, is the rounded corners. Okay, so you can round the corners nicely, and you choose how rounded you want them. So I set it somewhere around 40. So you can see there we've now got one rounded cornered photo area. You can, well, depending on what you're watching this on, you might just see a little bit of blue. So this blue is just showing you where them photo areas are. When you export, that blue isn't there. Okay, so don't worry about it if you can see the blue. So I'm going to highlight that one again, and this time, one other thing I didn't show you, with the corners, you can choose if you want to do something a little bit different. So there, we've not got a corner at the top. So again, personal choices. If you want to do that, you do that. It's there for you. If you don't want to use it, just leave them all ticked. Okay, so I've got this highlighted, so I'm going to apply that to all photo areas. What this will do, these two here will look identical to that. Okay, so click that, you get a little pop-up, and then we have now got our 3 photo areas, exactly the same size, rounded corners, same colours, etc. Next, I am going to add a decoration image. So if you use Canva, you'll know them as elements. Now here you can upload your own, so it will give you the option there. So you choose file, make sure it is a PNG file, and it needs to have a transparent background, otherwise it won't look good on the template. That's standard for these sort of things. Or you can choose from the library. So if you select from library, then you've got your categories, lots of different categories there. So this one we're going to do wedding, and then you just scroll down and see what you would like on there. So let's go with these wedding rings, and we'll place them down there. Now earlier in the video I mentioned Snap to Grid. What I advise in all of the videos I do is turn Snap to Grid off when you are dealing with photos and text, because what it'll allow you to do is move it freely and resize it smoother. Okay, you see like that. If it's on, to show you, you'll see it jerks, because what it's doing, it's actually snapping it to the grid. Okay, so turn it off, and that'll give you a lot more control over the actual image, and the same with text. Okay, so we'll place that there. Next, I'm going to add a little bit of text. Now when you click add text, it loads in the center of the screen and it defaults black. If you scroll down, so any of these other than the add photo area, so you add your text in your decoration, that gives you more options down here. Okay, so we've got the add text, so we'll go Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and we're going to change the fonts. So there's lots of fonts in there for you to choose from. I'll go with that one. Change the size. With the size, you can drag the corners, a little bit fiddly on mobile devices. You can use a slider, or you can fine tune it using the arrows up and down here. Okay, move it to place. Again, I've got Snap to Grid switched off. Now if I wanted to add a second line there, so let's say 27th of the 9th 2025, you can do that. If you're doing them the more than one line in the same box, you can also adjust the line height. Okay, like this, standard stuff. Okay, if you didn't want to do it that way, you can add a second set. Let's bring it back so it's one line. So we'll click away from it, we're going to add text again, and then you would just do the same process. Okay, and that works if you're going to be adding your website on there. You might want your website down there, for example. MyWebsite.com. So if you want your bit of branding on there, I'm not a fan of branding on people's templates, but you can do it, and that's the way you would do it. You just add a different text. Likewise, if you wanted your logo on there, add decoration image and do it the same way you've done the ring there. If you need to change the text, and I am going to change the text here. So we've got Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I am going to put the date in this one. So 27th of the 9th. 2025, and I'm going to leave that there for now. I'm going to change the color, and again I like to use colors within the template, usually make them a little bit darker in the background again, sorry. So this time we'll go with something like that. Okay, so it kind of matches. I am doing a rough version of this, so you will do it yourself and you'll make nicer jobs. The text, because it's highlighted, I can align it left if I wish. It pushes it to the left of the box. You would then have to move the box, but you can see that is now aligned left. You can align it center and you can align it right. Again, just move it to place. So we'll pop it back in the center and then move the text to where I want it on the actual template. So it's still highlighted, so I'm going to add a outline to it. When you add an outline, it will be white. You can change the width. So I'll just make that, I'll make it dark just so you can see it. All right. So I can do stuff like that. And if you wanted to, you can add a shadow. Again, you can change the color of that shadow. All right. So that gives you, with the shadow, it gives you a little bit of a 3D effect. Okay, So the Y will move it up and down, as you can see there. Just set that to 0, and the X will move it left and right. Okay, so that's if you want to use the shadow. Personally, I don't use shadow on very much. The one I use more than anything is the outline, but I do use shadow, but not as much as the outline. Okay, so if we're happy with that, we can now export that template. So I'll click export template. As soon as you do that, as I said earlier, them photo areas do become transparent. And I'll just quickly open that up for you. And here we go. So that is now our photo area. So we've got the 3 transparent photo areas, we've got the text, we've got the decoration image, and we got our branding on there. That is now ready to load straight into your photo booth software. So if you're using Lumabooth, click add image. If you're creating this on an iPad, you may need to allow pop-ups when you click export. You do that if you go into your settings, click type Safari, find Safari in your settings, and then just have a scroll down. You'll see allow pop-ups because for some reason iOS has suddenly started asking not allowing pop-ups, and once you've done that, you'll be able to download it, and it goes into the download. So in Lumabooth, for example, you would then click add image, browse your iPad, you'll see downloads, and then load your template in. And other softwares, you would do it the way you normally add your templates. So that is all there is to that template. Okay, or Template Hub, the basic. So if you've got any questions on that, as I said, this is video number 1. In video number 2, I'm going to go through how to use the ready-made templates, the premium feature. But again, any questions, feel free to ask. Thanks for watching. Do take care.